Hello, everyone. Good evening. How is everybody doing? I hope all of you are doing well. Welcome to this session. I'll quickly introduce myself. I'm Abhishek Parikh. I'm a deputy director working with Skill Arbitrage, and I will be conducting this session with you today. So, we have planned this session to give you a brief on what is it that you should be expecting, over the 3 days for our upcoming live boot camp, which starts from tomorrow, right? I hope all of you have registered for it. If not, we will be sharing the registration details with you shortly in the chat box so that you can do that. I just wanted to come here and give you some context as to, like I said, what is it that we'll be discussing over the set of 3 days. Also, I will take up any of your questions that you might have before we begin. Rest assured, we will be having a very interactive set of sessions across the 3 days, tomorrow, on Sunday, and on Monday. But still, I just wanted to come here and see if you guys have any questions that I can address before we begin, right? So I'll start taking up your questions in 5 minutes. Before I do that, I would just like to set the context, give you a brief of what the opportunity is about, what is it that we'll be talking about across the 3 days, right? So the thing is that in 2026, India has one of the biggest career openings in a generation for specifically for experienced professionals. And most people don't even know that it exists. If they know, they've heard of it in passing, but they haven't seriously given it a consideration because it sounds like something which would require a lot of preparation or a lot of work or a lot of exposure or a lot of experience. That is becoming an independent director, right? Which is a paid seat on a company board earned on the experience that you already have, right? And here's what most people miss: IDs aren't just for big listed companies, even unlisted companies need them, right? So there are far more board seats available in India today as we speak than most people realize. I will be talking about this in detail tomorrow in the boot camp. But to give you some context right now, let me tell you that even unlisted companies need IDs in such some cases. Of course, listed companies need them, but even unlisted companies need them, right? In some cases, such as if it crosses 10 crore plus in paid up capital, or 100 crores in its turnover, or it has debt or loans of over 50 crore rupees. In all such cases, even unlisted companies are required to have independent directors, right? Even fintech companies or NBFCs and REITs are also required to have independent directors, which means that there is a massive gap that exists right now. You know what? There are so many seats available in India today as we speak, but there are not enough people to fill those seats. And that is what we will be talking about across the 3 days. What is it that one can do to get those opportunity, right? Of course, listed companies need them as well. The demand is real and the supply is thin, like I just said. That's what make this year 2026 different. We'll also talk about why it has only happened in the recent year that the demand for independent directors have increased, right? We'll touch upon that in the bootcamp, don't worry. Now, between listed firms and large unlisted companies, there are roughly 40 to 50,000 companies which are legally required to appoint IDs, and over 30,000 seats are open right now, up for grabs, right? And nearly that's something which is available right now. In the coming 2 years, the demand is going to increase many-fold, and there'll be approximately 1 lakh vacancies for independent directors. Isn't this something which is amazing? In a country like India, we are used to seeing so much competition everywhere we go, right? Especially when it comes to education, when it comes to, again, any kind of opportunities. There is such cutthroat competition that, it makes very difficult for people to be able to come across opportunities. But this is something which is fairly unsaturated right now, because like I said, not a lot of people are exploring these opportunities. And you know what, the silver lining, the good thing, the best part in fact is that this is not something for which you have to go and attain uh, other qualifications over and above what you already have, or attain a different kind of experience that what you already possess, right? I'm sure most of you who I'm speaking with, who I'm addressing right now, have at least 10 to 20 to 30 years of experience under their belt, right? And that is all that is required for you to become an ID. What you have to do is you have to strategically position yourself. And that is exactly what we are going to be talking about across 3 days. I promise you, we will deliver a lot of value for you across these 3 days. You will not go empty handed, you will not be dissatisfied. This is something which is my promise to all of you. We are going to have a skill packed set of 3 days of sessions, right? I will also be discussing what exactly what we be covering across the 3 days. But let me give you some examples of people who've actually been able to do this, so that it gives you some context or inspires you to also try and attain it for yourself, right? So these are the examples of people who have been able to do this. We have Steve Pereira, who had 20 plus years of experience in hospitality. He is now serving on two boards of ZTech India and Set Qatar Shopping. We have Sanjay Roy, 36 years in Navy. He had no corporate background and is now on the board of another company called Sashi Room. We have Suman Chakrabarti, who's an agricultural consultant. So she has experience in a niche field like agriculture. And guess what? She was able to secure an ID position at Zepfresh, which is again an agri-tech company. We have Vivek Talmale with 30 years of experience in operations, and he resides in Nagpur. He is also now serving on the board of Cashew Drive. We have Hani Pamnani, 12 years of experience, already an ID at STEM Robo, with another in the pipeline as well. We have Dhetri Panda, 36 years in civil account service, resides in Odisha, won her first seat at Odisha Power Transmission in February 2026, right? And then we have Sunil Agarwal, 67, ex-IRS commissioner. Mom's belief approached him directly to, to get an ID position. So these are all the people who've been able to do it. I'm sure you can do it as well. It's just about positioning yourself right. First step is to understand that there is this opportunity which exists, and then comes acting on it. Right. So that is exactly what we are going to be talking about. We are going to be making these 3 days very easy to approach, very easy to understand. We have taken into consideration all different backgrounds that you people belong with, and this is going to be something which will be insightful for everyone. Let me tell you what we will be talking about across the 3 days. So the first day, we will start tomorrow at sharp 2 p.m. So we'll have our session from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow. Tomorrow, very important day, we are going to be talking about the opportunity. We are going to again introduce the opportunity to you. We are also going to be talking about the gap that exists, who is eligible, what it really pays, right? And what are the risks, if any at all. We'll again bust all the myths that exist with respect to these appointments. How the IIC exam, which is an exam which you have to give, which qualifies you to become an independent director, which by the way is a very easy exam. We'll talk about how to really crack that exam, how that it really works, what is the marking scheme, what are the subjects that are going to be covered. All of that is going to be discussed tomorrow. And also how appointments actually happen when it comes to independent director positions. This is also something that we'll cover. We'll also look at the advanced strategies, which is the 6 months plan, which we share with, which we are going to be sharing with all of you, which will help you to secure ID positions within as less as 6 months. In fact, there have been people who've been able to attain ID positions even sooner than 6 months by following this particular roadmap. I hope all of you are excited to learn about it. Building your personal brand. What is it that you have to really do? What are the components that you have to be considering when it comes to building a personal brand. We will also talk about what is the real importance of a personal brand when it comes to ID positions, and how you can go about it step by step. How can you give a TEDx talk? How do you land startup advisory roles and connecting SMEs to merchant bankers, which is the biggest shortcut to your first seat? We'll see how. Don't worry if this is something which sounds daunting right now, we'll make it very approachable, very accessible across the 3 days, right? On day three, we are going to go all out with a lot of skills, right? We'll talk about how you can network with CFOs and company secretaries. How can you spot IPO worthy companies in your network? How you get a book published. Yes, I'm talking about getting a book published, right? That is something that we are going to be talking about on our third day. And you'll see how easy it is once you get started and once you have right guidance working with you. And handling your first board meeting with confidence. This is also something that we are going to be talking about. So whether you're 35 or 65, whether you're working or retired, you're a CA, you're an engineer, teacher, veteran, whatever particular background you may be belonging with, there is this particular path which exists for you. This is the belief that I want to instill in all of you, right? Because there are so many people who've been able to do this. You can do this as well, right? Now, with that, I will take your questions. Like I said, we will be delving into all of this in a lot of detail across the 3 days, but I just wanted to introduce, set a context in front of all of you guys today. And now I'll take some questions. And I will also then let you know how much of it we will be talking about in the sessions, right? So let me just read some of the questions. All right. One request I would have, if you guys can change your names to your actual names so that I can address you by your name, right? So we have Zella196. I don't know what your actual name is. You're saying it is easy to get ID if you are an ex-IS or government retiree. So that is the case, but that is not the only thing, right? That's not what you necessarily need to secure ID positions, right? I just took one example was there, which was from an ex-government officer, but there were so many other examples of people who have been working in different industries and have been able to do this as well. So it's not the case that just being an government officer or an ex-army officer is what is going to cut it for you. Don't worry, right? That is not the case. Okay, let me stroll through and see what are more questions that you guys have. I'm a senior most pediatrician in the Konkan coastal area of Maharashtra with clinical experience of 38 years and teaching faculty experience of 7 years, now retired from private medical college. There is so much that you have. It's Shivaji. So there's so much the experience that you already possess. You can put it to so much good use, right? You have to place yourself strategically in a manner wherein you make all your experience visible, right? That is something that we are going to be talking about, how to really start working strategically in the right direction. So this is basically, and you have so much of experience. People with lesser experience have been able to get ID positions, I can assure you that, right? So I'm hoping to see you, Shivaji, in the boot camp, and you'll see how this opportunity could be something which could be immensely beneficial to you, and you won't have to do much to begin with, right? You have to work strategically for it. Now, who else? Okay, let me see some more questions. Mm, all right. Three. Let me just, I'm just going through all your questions or your comments, guys. So many of you are saying hi. It's great to see you. Let me see what are the questions. 37 years of engineering and automobile after sales and well customers handling techniques. Now I'm retired. All right, so everybody posting their specific experiences. Let me tell you, this particular opportunity is for everyone. Don't think that whatever niche you belong with, it may or may not be for you. That is not the case. We have people, like I said, I just was taking the example of somebody who belongs to a niche, which is very very specific, like agriculture, and she was able to get an opportunity. So there is an opportunity that lies for you somewhere. When it comes to independent director positions, you just have to start looking, right? 18 years of experience in software development, currently resigned the job, looking up to upskill and join the leadership team. That's great. Srinivas, I hope I will be seeing you in the boot camp. I promise you, you will start seeing things in a new light. I'm saying this to all of you, in fact, right? Okay, so everyone is sharing their different experiences. 59 years, 37 years of experience, regional business manager. All right, 48 years, 31 years of experience. Okay. Apart from this, any questions that anybody has? I am answering this question for all of you, in one single go, that whatever field that you belong with, you can, ID positions are available for you. You just have to start working in the right direction with the right mindset, right? Over and above that, let me see what are the other questions that you guys have. And we will be talking about, by the way, in the bootcamp also, we will be covering this, how people from different experiences, we will cover varied particular experiences, be it operations management, technology, you name it. We have covered all these different fields, and we will be talking about how you can benefit from ID positions and how this is something that you can definitely do, right? Is not, if independent director is not involved in any wrongdoing but is aware of any such wrong practices which have been hidden, then how is ID protected? Okay, very good question. It is from Smita. So, Smita, the thing is that independent directors are not going to be getting into any trouble for anything that they were not explicitly complicit of. Independent directors are, remember that independent directors are not an integral part of the company, right? There is a reason why the term independent is used, in the designation itself, because there's an independent element to it. They are going to be responsible for anything that was explicitly, spoken about with them, that they were made explicitly aware of, and then they did not do anything about it. Only in such cases IDs are responsible. There are numerous cases, I will be talking about this tomorrow. There are numerous cases in which it was held that independent directors are at no fault here, because it was actually, they were never made aware of such things, such wrong dealings that the company was facing. They were never, again, made a part of it, made privy to it, so they had nothing to be afraid of. So this is again not something that should be stopping anybody. Independent directors are never going to get into trouble for anything that the, company's directors or the company's promoters might be involved in, as long as independent directors were not made aware of it. So there's nothing that you have to be afraid of. We will be touching upon it in much greater detail in the bootcamp, right? uh, okay, so again, I come across a lot of people sharing their experiences. All right, I'm just going to look up for more questions. How we can complete with experienced independent? How can we compete with experienced independent directors? Okay, so this is Aloka. No, Alok. I'm sorry. So Alok, the thing is that the demand is such, there's such a massive demand for independent directors right now, that over 61% of independent of, people being appointed as independent directors are doing it for the first time every single year, right? So companies are not looking for experienced professionals when it comes to ID positions. That is not something that anyone can afford at this point of time, because there are very less people who can actually go ahead and serve as independent directors. There are not a lot of people eyeing these positions right now, right? That is why there is such a humongous vacancy which exists. And because of that, the thing is that again, there is absolutely no way in which you have to compete, go ahead and compete with experienced IDs. There are seats for everyone. Even if right now in this room there are thousands of people, as I speak right now, there are 30,000 vacancies. So if all of you also were to go and start applying for independent director positions, there will be seats for all of you. Right? So there is no such thing that you have to worry about, that it is something which is available, or this is something that you'll have to compete with experienced independent directors. That is not the case. We'll be touching upon this more in the boot camp, but this is not something that you should be worried about, right? Okay, let me take more questions. No, so Munmun is saying, can't the companies having such opportunities open placements through LinkedIn or Indeed? No, you will never come across ID positions being opened on LinkedIn or any other job portal, because companies are primarily looking for independent directors through their own networks, or people that they might have come across, right? Because it is something which is certain professionals with certain kind of characteristics are going to be hired as independent directors. They can't just hire anybody randomly, and that is why you have to create that visibility for yourself, that credibility in your name. That's where personal branding comes into picture, which we will be talking about through and through across the 3 days. Once you understand how to go about building a personal brand, and once you start working on it, it's just a matter of time that before you get appointed as independent directors. You have so many examples of people who've been able to do that. They started from scratch, they gave their IIC exam, they built their personal brand, and they went ahead and got these positions, right? So yeah, there is no such mechanism that they will go ahead and uh, put this vacancy up on any job portal. They will rather ask for people in their network, that is there somebody who can serve on the board. So if you have again created that outreach for yourself, that credibility for yourself, then you basically again come into the radar of the company. We will also teach you strategies as to how to network with these companies, so that they start knowing you, so that you again don't have to be again waiting for them to come to you, but you go to them and you provide value to them, so that when they have these openings, when they have these positions, they think of you, right? So all of this, and you'll see how easy it is. It is not something which is rocket science. It is not something that will take all of your day. Remember, by the way, independent director positions are, this is something that you can take up on a part-time basis. You don't have to it is not something that will take up all of your time. Even if you're working right now, or you're retired and you don't want to do something which will consume all of your time, this is just the opportunity for you, because this won't take up all of your time, right? As an independent director, you are supposed to, primarily the work would be that you will have to attend 15 to 20 meetings per day, sorry, per year, not per day. So per year, 15 to 20 meetings is all that you need to attend. You need to do a bit of preparation for them, but that is not something that will take up all of your time, and the payment is also very good. We'll talk about it in the boot camp, but the earnings of independent directors are very good. It's when they are just starting out, it's very easy to earn easily approximately 20 lakhs per annum of additional income, just by being an independent director when you're starting out. You know how much top independent directors in India are earning? 3 to 6 crores is what the earnings of the top 10 independent directors of India is currently, right? So that's that. How to obtain DIN, we will be talking about it. We will tell you how to go about it, how you can get assistance with respect to obtaining DIN. Don't worry about that. All right. So that's that. Now let me see more questions. Currently looking for a part-time work from home position as a social digital marketing consultant. I've worked with national, international brands. So it's Akshana. No, Akshara, I'm sorry. Yes, so this is something which could exactly be, you already worked with national and international brands, right? As a digital marketing consultant, you can serve as an ID. There are so many people who need people again with this kind of experience. All the brands need marketing, right? Especially digital marketing is something that is on the rise, of course. So again, you can leverage your already existing experience, your already existing knowledge with respect to all of this, and you can again create an outreach for yourself that would make you go, get ID positions. You can also appear for the ID exam. By the way, I'm repeating it, independent directors exam is not something which is very difficult to crack. With 3 to 5 months of practice, if you commit even 1 to 2 hours per day for 3 months, you can easily appear for ID examination. It is not a very difficult exam. You can pass it, right? We will also be going through some sample questions in the bootcamp, and you'll see how easy it is. We'll solve it in front of us live, and you'll see how easy it is, right? Okay. Uh, Let me see more questions. IIC exam. Okay, so Lokesh is saying IIC exam has been cleared. Have DIN, how to get ID positions. Now, that's the thing. See, um, there are a lot of people. In fact, there could be more people who are amongst us today who have already cleared the independent director examination, but they have not been able to secure ID positions right now. We will be, addressing this gap as well. The reason is that there is again a personal branding that you have to be working on, and this is not something that you would be afraid of. If you have a specific plan, it is something which is very easy for you to do, right? So don't worry. Independent director positions, again, are available to people once you start working on your personal brand. Just clearing the exam does not cut it for people. That's the first step, but there are other things which have to be happening along with it. You have to network with right people, you have to build your personal brand, and that is what we will be talking about. It will be a very holistic view that we will be giving you, a very holistic roadmap also that we will be giving you in the bootcamp, right? So that's that. Okay, let me see what are more questions that I could answer. I am again, everyone who has shared their experiences. I'm sorry, I'm skipping your question with respect to your specific eligibility for ID because of the paucity of time. But rest assured that you are eligible. There is no one that I've come across who I would say that no, you are not eligible for ID positions. No matter what your background is, no matter what your experience is, once you start working in the right direction, you will find the right organizations, the right companies who you can serve as an ID for. So don't worry about that, right? And all of you are saying you have so much experience, 20 years experience, 30 years experience, 10 years of experience. So all of you are very, very well experienced people, and there are definitely ID positions available for you, right? So that's that 9.2 years. Yes, there is no limitation. Firstly, let me tell you, there is no limitation with respect to what is the number of years of experience that you need, right? You have to position yourself properly. That is what it comes down to. Is bootcamp free or any fee? The bootcamp is absolutely free. Jagannath, you have to. We'll share the link for registration. There is no fee that you have to pay. Just register for it. Come attend for 3 days. Um, Insightful value across all 3 days. It's completely free. No payment required. All right. Uh, what else? How many years should I register as a new candidate? Seema, I could not get your question. Maybe you could rephrase it. Okay. So again, a lot of people are. Seema, you've again placed your question, but I'm unable to understand what you mean to ask. Maybe you could rephrase. What else? Any other question that anybody has that I have not addressed? I'm just reading through. Schedule of events in the 3 days of boot camp. So, Akshat, like I said, so on the first day we'll be setting the context right first. We'll be talking about the opportunity. What is the gap, right, that exists? We'll be talking about what are the IIC exam. What is it that you have to do to prepare for it? What are the kind of questions that are asked, right? On the second day, we'll be giving you a roadmap that will help you work on, again, clear your IIC exam, build your personal brand, and network with people who can grant you these positions, who can make these positions available for you, such as promoters of companies, CEOs, CXOs, all these people, right? And we will also be learning some skills on our second day. Third day is going to be very much skill packed, right? So we'll be learning about how to publish a book, how to appear in podcasts, how to give a TEDx talk, all of these different skills which help you build your personal brand. We'll also be looking at how you can strategically prepare for your ID examination. How can you network with all these people belonging, again, network with all these people, merchant bankers. What is the role that merchant bankers play? How can you connect with them? How can you connect with, startups, founders of startups? What is the help that you can offer to them with respect to your specific area, your specific niche? All of these things we will be talking about, right, across the 3 days. um okay, more questions. How to get first appointment of ID? Is it required to approach the known directors or CFOs? So that's a good strategy, but there are certain things that you have to do. You have to firstly be credible, right? You have to, if somebody is going to hire you as an independent director, they should know from your profile, from your, if they go to your LinkedIn, if they Google you, will they actually come across some credible resources talking about you? Will they see that you've, again, done some work which makes you credible? That is what it is about, right? Just approaching someone known is not going to cut it for you unless you have that visibility for yourself, right? And of course, clearing the exam is also very important. So all these things, and then networking, all these things work hand in hand, right? Okay, let me see what are the most, what are other questions. uh okay, HR professional with 34 years of experience. Can a person be an ID in competitive companies at the same time within the same industries? Yes, there's no such requirements that you cannot be an independent director for two companies who are competing with each other. You should not have a monetary relationship with the company in any other capacity of which you are serving as an independent director for, right? So you cannot be a promoter, or you cannot be on the board of directors, or you cannot be an employee of the same company for which you're going to be serving as an independent director for. That's the thing, right? Is the domain knowledge necessary to become an ID, or it will be regularities, laws, security, value, which will help us to be there to value the company? So there is no specific one set of qualifications that are required when it comes to becoming an ID. There is this exam that you have to give, but other than that, there is no domain specific knowledge. Companies, there are businesses working in different venues, different operations are there, different kinds of businesses are being run, right? So you don't really need to be, have one specific kind of experience or one specific kind of knowledge to become an independent director. That is not the case, right? Whatever small here, whatever information, specific knowledge that you require here and there, that is not something that you cannot attain over time, right? Again, so don't let your specific background limit you. Don't let yourself think that, no, my particular background is too niche and maybe this is not for me. That is not the case. You're going to just limit yourself if you think that way, right? This was Abhilash who asked this. So I'm answering your question here. What is the nature of the exam? It's an objective exam, 50 marks objective exam, very easy to give. There are multiple slots throughout the year. You have to book for it and then you can appear at your convenience. It's not that only once a year the exam is conducted and you have to wait for it the entire year to give the exam. That is not the case. Very, very convenient for you to give. We'll talk about it more and tell you how to go about it um, in the boot camp. Would be keen to explore ID as well as consulting opportunities in startups, mentoring, especially as apparel and lifestyle categories. That's great. That's great to know, Bhaskar. Please join us for 3 days. You will get a lot of insights. How do we book? How do we study? How soon are the results? Uh, Dheer, please hold on. We will talk about it in the bootcamp. Please join us. We will share a lot of insights and we will also be sharing a lot of free material, by the way, as giveaways if you attend the bootcamp. So please be attend the bootcamp. I'll share the specifics with respect to receiving all of that tomorrow, but please join us. We'll also share a lot of resources with you. We've also shared the registration link in the chat box, by the way. For anybody who has not yet registered, please do that. With respect to okay, exam questions with respect to how to clear the exam, again, remember, for now it is not rocket science. It is not something that you have to put your entire year in for preparing. You can do it on the side, very easy. 50 marks, objective questions, not very difficult for anyone to give, no matter what field you belong with, right? We will touch upon it. I'll show you some questions live tomorrow and you'll see how easy it is. I'll ask you, in fact, I'll read those questions in front of you. I'll ask you what the answer is, and I can tell you most of you will be able to answer even without any kind of context, pre-existing context, right? Okay. Any more questions that anybody has before we end the meeting? So this was just like a session that I wanted to have to just get you guys on board and to let you know what is it that we are going to be discussing across the 3 days. But I hope this was helpful and I hope that all of you are excited to be with us um, over the 3 days, right? We have a lot of very, very exciting things planned for you. And don't worry, all your questions will be answered. Whatever we've talked about today, we are going to be going into much more detail. All your questions, I can assure you, we have covered everything in our bootcamp delivery, so you won't have to worry about it. All your questions will be answered, all your doubts will be addressed. Just be there at 2 p.m. tomorrow, right? And on following days, right? So that's that. Let me see if there are a few questions that I could answer before we leave. Maximum time period to serve as an ID. So basically, once you get appointed for a board, you serve for a term of 5 years, and you can be reappointed for another term of 5 years. Right? Mostly, this is what companies do. Once they appoint an ID, once they have a good working relationship with the independent directors, they don't reappoint, right? So they will basically reappoint this same person for another period of 5 years, after which there has to be a gap of 3 years, for which during which they won't be able to hire the same person as an independent director, appoint the same person as an independent director, right? But if you are going to be appointed as an independent director by a company, and you establish a good relationship with them, the chances are that you can be on the board. You will serve on their board for 10 years, right? So again, it provides a lot of security as well. Okay, with this, I'll end the session, guys. It was great interacting with all of you. I'm sorry if I could not. Okay, last question. Can ID be appointed in one or more companies? Yes. It's not that once you've been appointed as an independent director in one company, you cannot be appointed in the next. You can be appointed as an independent director for up to 7 companies. Although 7 companies is a bit much, 3 to 4 companies you can easily, be appointed at, because the work is not too much. So even 4 to 5 companies, you will easily be able to do this on the side. This will not take up all of your time. And remember, all these meetings that I was talking about, they are 90% of the times they are remote today. All the meetings are happening remotely anyway. So even these board meetings are happening remotely. Please send a link to join. We'll just put it in the chat box again, for you to click at and join for our bootcamp. It's a very easy process. So please do that. And okay, so the people are saying that they are very excited to attend, inspired to attend. That's great. That's the spirit. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Please be there sharp at 2 p.m. We have a lot to discuss, and we'll make it very interesting and very insightful. With that, we will end the session. Thank you for joining in. We'll be sharing the link in the chat box for you to join. Can someone from the team please share the link again in the chat box so that everybody can access? Asmin, Noshina, whoever is here, could you please put the link in the chat box, please? Okay, we have the registration link in the chat box for you to refer to again. Please head on, register. It's a very, very easy process, right? With that, I'll end the session. Thank you for joining in. I'll see you tomorrow live at 2 p.m. Thank you.